know we're running short on time, but I want to thank you after saying that I played Cotter baseball. I was on the team. I don't know if I necessarily played Cotter baseball. Our last inductee today is Will Gibson from the class of '96. He's a three-sport athlete, current staff member here at Cotter, and he's being presented by his brother, Drew Gibson.
Most of the week I was worried about whether or not I had to go first or last, knowing that the bar would be set pretty high. Now I know I just have to get just underneath it and be okay. It's an honor here to be here with everyone, but mostly to have the honor of introducing Will Gibson. The largest challenge sometimes of having Will as an older brother was everyone else that looked at us as a pair. And I was like, oh, Will's such a silent leader. He leads by good example. As a younger brother, he was never so silent to me. Never so much as Tuesday, he's like, hey, I think I'm wearing a suit. You might want to wear a tie. So, I'm bad at it. Will and I's, my entire life, and for the most part his, we've always been playing together. And some of our earliest games did not involve anything that had to do with a gym or a yard. It was playing tackle football in our hallway, heading back to our bedroom. And we would go and grab a pair of socks out of the laundry, and we'd throw it down, and we'd play on our knees, running all the way back and forth. We probably put so many holes in our pajamas. But thankfully, Mother never said anything about ruining our pajamas. But even at that young age, Will had this ambition and intensity that scared me. And all of a sudden, we just kind of be tossing it back and going on our knees and tackling. Like, every once in a while, Will would just like start hiding me in and come in with his forehead. and it probably made me tougher, but probably also made me scared of contact for a good part of my life. And I mean, those are the memories that it starts with. You know, we have my dad and my brother Tom involved in that same hallway. My dad being over on all four, and the three of us would take turns with the Nerf football, sprinting down the hallway and practicing our Walter Payton dives into the middle of the living room. And those are the memories that I like to start with. But when we talk about Will, and as Jeff mentioned, Will, you know, there's a track column one of our years, and a quote was, where there's a will, there's a way. And certainly pertaining to that track team, Will was the track team, and what he did to basically take that program to an elite level, which it was in our years and after we were there, that falls solely on his shoulders. One, for getting the right players or the right athletes up for the team, and staying honest, and that the work ethic and pursuit of excellence. And I think those are two attributes that we can certainly give to Will. And we get that from our parents, but we certainly pass that along. And in his life as an educator now, I know he is Cotter's largest fan, and he really wants to try and pursue the work ethic and pursuit of excellence on all that pass through Cotter these days. Well, I know we're running short on time, but I got a couple quick stories I have to share. The thing with Will is he was never on time for a thing. Ever. I mean, we were chasing him. I'm screaming at him, get in the car, we gotta get to practice. He'd come out of his days after nap from school, run upstairs, run back to that laundry room. We had to quick find a couple pairs of socks, throw them in the gym bag, and then we do about 80 miles an hour to 61 to get to basketball practice. And there's a time we probably had about 5 o'clock practice, and it was in January '94, and we had our father's new Jeep Grand Cherokee. Dad, I don't think you've ever heard this story. And so we're taking off from school around 3:15, 3:20, and our good friend JP's on, so has a broken leg, needs a ride home. He was on Liberty, or used to live on Liberty and Broadway. So we're heading home, and it was not my idea, but somehow between those two, let's take the Jeep out on the lake. son. So we're going around, and I think Jake's like, take over the snowbank. The Will Flores that goes up on that snowbank, and it was a big snowbank, and the car gets stuck. Right, and two wheels are turning, and nothing's going. Jake's got a broken leg. I'm like, we gotta get to practice. I've been on varsity here for 2 days. I don't want to be late. So I have to run from the middle of the lake all the way to Nick Shaplesky's house, who can't believe he's here. Good job. And got a shovel in our dress clothes and whatever, and ran back out down the lake and started digging that snowbank out. It took us probably about an hour, hour and a half, but we finally got it out. And the other quick story about getting to and from practice was, I think I was 14 and Will was 16. And Will had hit his head pretty hard at a basketball practice. And went in for rebound, got undercut, head slams on the floor, stands up, runs into the wall. So he's kind of like probably a little concussed. And those are way back before, and I think our parents may have been out of town or something. Claire was maybe home with us, and I remember Mike Costello's like, well, how are you guys gonna get home? You guys got a car? I'm like, well, I can have. You know, to Mike's credit, 14-year-old got behind the car and drove us home.
Know that one.
But, I didn't use any of these. But the last, I'll keep this one short. Just getting back to Will, and, you know, I enjoy athletics, and we always have. And I judge greatness on being able to step up and make the play when it's needed the most. And we had some great runs in our years up at St. John's. We played on some great teams. And we played in a national championship game and lost in a heartbreaker, 10-7. Against a juggernaut called Mount Union. They had won the week before, 70-0. This quarterback had thrown 3 interceptions all year and was getting NFL looks. Well, Will picked him off twice in the biggest game of my career. And we should have won that game, and he was won. But I love you, buddy.
Thank you.
Will Gibson.
Well, this is great. As a middle child, I've always craved attention. Maybe that's why I'm late for everything, or have a room full of people that are caring about me or caring about the school. I get to talk and get the attention that I finally made it. Which is, it's ridiculous. Nobody, you know, when we were playing sports, the Hall of Fame didn't exist at Cotter, and this was, who cares about accomplishments? Nobody cares about plaques or anything. It's what are you doing now? You know, Drew shared that story about the national championship game. I played for John Guardia, and he's our coach, and he comes back to him on the plane on the way home and says, "You just sort of run back one of those two. Yeah, which one was he?" True story. But it is an honor for me to be here and to have you celebrating accomplishments of Cotter athletes. I've been very fortunate in my life to be in the right place with the right people at a great time, and I feel that way right now. Right here last May, we had our graduation ceremony. Father Brizo said, "Look at you, to the graduates. You should be proud of yourself. You've done so many things. You're smart, you're going to college, you're good looking, you're great at athletics. You didn't do any of that. You know, God did that first." And that's true, and that's true for me. But he also went on to say, well, you had parents, and they probably did everything for you to get you to this place. And for me, Mom and Dad, thank you. Mom, for worrying, for washing, you know, uniforms and socks. Socks were like gold. I had to make clean socks. And also consoling. She's a professional counselor, and that comes in handy. Dad, thanks for driving us around, for wandering the sidelines, smoking at high school athletic events. And you know, sitting in the corner of the bleachers, can't talk to anybody, just nervous. That's his way of caring and accepting, you know, whether we won or lost. Who cared? Not him. He's proud when we lost or when we won. If we lost, he knew why. But thank you very much. I'll get to Drew here, but I want to start with my brother Tom. Tom is my big brother. Watched him. He was the varsity athlete when I was a little kid. You know, and he's had a harder life than me. But he's my hero, really. And it's important to have you here. RL, you tell me a lot of stories about Tom. You got to coach him. You call him RoboCop, because he would hit like a RoboCop, if you saw that mid-90s feature film. It was but when I started running track, it was at the prompting of one of my coaches, Larry Hubert. And we were on the bus going over to CFC in 8th grade. And I was running back. He comes back to the back of the bus. I'm thinking, Coach, what are you in the spring? And I said, last year I played golf. No offense to the golf team, but great. He said, yeah, you should run track. And Larry Hubert, when he says something, he listens. And thank you for the prompting there. Turned out it was a good move for me. You know, we had a coach, Bill Squires, 8th grade, our basketball coach, and when he spoke, he really listened. He was, should have been the Marine if he wasn't. I don't know. But his favorite quote was what? See the ball. Yeah, you got it. I've always had great coaches, and I would finish the season, I would think, that's the best coach I've ever had. And it was true in 8th grade football, it was true in 8th grade basketball. In football, with Jeff Brown is an amazing person. And to put the hours he put into our defensive game plans every week and the quotes, and we were 1-7. And we were believing in him, and he believed in us, and it helped build that up. Mike Costello is here. He's had I not dated his sister, I would have had a better basketball career, I'm sure. But there's a story in the paper about we were lining up for a game, and I was not a starter, which is, okay. Drew was sitting on the bench, and I'm getting ready to slap his hand as he's running out to half court, and they mixed us up. That's happened before. And I immediately ripped my jacket off, run to the center of the court, slap hands, and starting lineup. Costello, he let me stay. He's got first dead ball. When I started running track and doing hurdles, it became one of my better events. My grandmother gave me a medal that my grandfather had won when he was in high school. What? Grandpa is old. He didn't ever play athletics. No concept of this. But he was not only winning races, he set the school record, I believe, in the 200 hurdles at White Bear High School, which I claim and say aloud, it still holds. Because they no longer run the 220-yard hurdle race. But thank you, Grandpa. It was always eye-opening to say, okay, yeah, it turns out I have athletics in my blood or in my family. Thank you, Grandpa, for giving me the inspiration to take hurdles more seriously. I have another hurdle story that I won't tell right now. Matt's one of his favorites. Athletics, for me, were a big part of who I am. They teach you things like hard work, disappointment, the struggle with your teammates to achieve something, sportsmanship, teach you a healthy lifestyle. That's why we fund it. That's why we pay coaches. That's why we build gyms. Because they teach all these lessons that make us good people. And today I work at Cotter, and I'm very proud to do so. I work mostly with international students who grow up in cultures that are not insane about sports in a way that American culture is. It's crazy that we have these palaces to sports and we have schools that are crumbling. It's crazy. But athletics are great. And I wish I could bring more people into those experiences that I've had, because I am the person I am because of the experience that I've had, mostly through athletics and through coaching and mentoring. practices, losses. My favorite pictures in the world are the last two football games I played with Drew as a Cotter student and at St. John's. Hugging, being a teammate. And Drew's a pretty good teammate. He pushes me. He is much more competitive than I am. And, I love playing defense because I was a guardian of Drew. And Drew was happy to shoot, and I was happy to rebound, I guess. And I've had to defend Drew in more than one way in life because he was kind of the cocky brother who would not be as well liked on the basketball court. You kind of get protective of him. Cotter for me is a special place, and I choose to be here as an employee because I want to give back to others, some of the things that I've had. Jim Devine used to speak and say, look around. Nobody goes to a high school like this. In a beautiful setting. And we had the internet in 1993 or 1994. It was incredible. We have teachers that care. We have really unique collections of resources here and a great school tradition that is continuing. And we're all part of it. We're all ramblers. And that means a lot to me and to all of us. So thank you very much, and I hope that we can go on to a great celebration of our home. This is our new home. It's my mother's old home, St. Teresa's. But for the Franciscans, it'll be at Mass at 4. This is their home. And let's go beat those Tigers. All right, thank you.
Good job.